everything. The way I walk, the way I breathe. Feel my fate shift into the night. But here I am, same old day. Thinking deep, no ecstasy. Reality haunts the living mind. If I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same escape. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Yo, guys, it is Old Man G here, back again with another match reaction. Before we get into it, if you are new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe, to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter and X and smash the notification button. I don't normally do match reaction. To be honest, I don't normally cover a lot of cup games on this channel, at least until it gets to like the latter stages. But I thought, you know what? It's Everton. It's an FA Cup game, and actually, it was actually quite a good watch. Actually, I didn't think that the game would be as good a watch as it was. So I thought, you know what, go live, react to it, etc. Shout out to AD in the chat. Thank you very much, buddy. United 7 wins in a row. Yes, absolutely, Samasi, and thank you for letting. Good to see you guys in the chat. Make sure you like the vid and subscribe if you're new. But yeah. Overall, I am definitely happy with the points. There are a few things that I kind of want to discuss. Obviously, the StreamYard link is in the chat as well. So if anyone wants to come on and have a discussion, I'll give my kind of piece first. But if anyone wants to come on and have a conversation, we had a good discussion last night with the Bournemouth win, for example, and a lot of people watched. So if you want to sort of get on the discussion, please click the link and get involved. Sorry, 2 seconds. But yeah, as far as the game concerned, I mean, I think I'll start with the positives first. The rotation. The rotation was good. Oh, shout out Mo in the chat, man. Big up audio. Shout out Mo. Hope you're doing well, buddy. The rotation. Well, relative rotation anyway. Although that said, we still weren't quite strong. I'm saying rotation, we still actually weren't quite strong. The way that we played, so in the first half, how aggressive we were, certainly for the first probably 30 minutes or so, United were very, shout out to Solomon in the chat as well. United were very Everton just couldn't do with us. We had the ball, we had possession, they couldn't really get out of the half that much, and it was clearly obvious from the get-go. They were like, Everton clearly are here to counter-attack. That's essentially what they are. We need to break them down. We struggled to break them down after we scored the first goal, but the first goal was, brilliant cross in by Rashford, who for me was my man of the match. Let me know who your man of the match is in the chat as well. I'll post obviously a poll in the description. And my man of the match, Marcus Rashford. Good cross in. Antony comes in. I'll talk about Antony later. It's effectively 1-0 to Manchester United. And you're thinking, okay, we can go on, actually do this. I think stats said 13 goals, 6 assists on 5 this season. Marcus Rashford is on good form, and long may it continue. Now, I don't know what happened. I did say, Samasa, see you in the back. I'll bring you in soon. I did say that I'll start with the positive first. So I'm going to go back to whatever it was that David De Gea did, because that was strange. That was very strange. But so I'll put that aside. Rashford again, second goal. Again, going down the left-hand side, I've always said that I felt that Marcus Rashford's best position is on the left. It's one of the reasons why I've rejected shouts for Rashford as a striker, Rashford as a number 9. That doesn't work. It will never work. So you have to play Marcus Rashford as a number 9. So as a result, you know, him, going down the left-hand side, causing problems. It comes off, I think Cody it was, own goal, 2-1 to Manchester United. There was a bit of a scare, obviously, when I think it was Calvert-Lewin. It looked like he was onside, and obviously we got the equalizer, but actually he was offside. And fair enough, was a good decision. I actually even know VAR was involved. When people saying VAR, I was like, oh, I didn't know VAR was involved in the FA Cup round. So fair enough, and we got away with that there. Obviously, Garnacho comes on, adds a bit of spice, gets the penalty, a little bit soft, but I don't consider any complaints. It's 3-1, and then the game is over and done. And Rashford scores to mark a very good performance. But ultimately, I just think that I think that how can I put it? I'm overall happy with the performance, but I do have a few concerns. There are a few concerns that I have. So I'll start with the first one. Obviously, De Gea has been doing really, really well. Really happy with how De Gea has been so far this season. That was an unacceptable goal. So I'm going into negatives now. That was an unacceptable goal to concede. No. If you cannot get beaten at your near post, like that. Specifically, you can't have your legs open at the near post. I played in goal, whereas five-a-side, I guess, is different, but even still, it's the same concept. You can't be beaten at your near post. The main reason why is because, yes, you can get forced, but through your legs, no, bro. So I don't know what David Gea was doing. I don't know why his legs were open. Yes, I can make a case as to Dalot. I always think that if you're defending, which is why I think Wan-Bissaka's a better defender than Dalot, and it's simply because it's that defender instinct versus attacker instinct. If you're a defender, you always have to, irrespective of the situation, make sure that you are in front of the attacker. In that case, it was Cody who was being the attacker. You always have to do that and not switch off. That's a defender thinking. Attacker or fullback going forward is like, I want to go forward. So Dalot, at the very least, should have anticipated that could have put, even though it's 90% De Gea's fault. I think Dalot should have anticipated that situation, and obviously, Everton equalized at that time. The other negative is, I'm sorry, Mikufic, sort of big about yes. So Sammy says Ran is better wing than Antony, bro. I'm good. So Rashford play. I'm coming to that. Antony is very, very one-footed, and it's becoming a little bit of a problem. It's his first season, so I'm giving the whole thing time and all the rest of it, so it's all good, it's fine. But him being so one-footed is in my opinion, it's a problem. It's a bit of a problem. And because of that, our attacks really do tend to slow down. And I don't know whether this is something that will be fixed in the game against Manchester City, because I can easily see that being something that can be exploited. The other thing is I'm still not 100% convinced with our fullbacks, and by that I mean I don't mean the quality. I mean I'm still a bit concerned that against better teams that they could be overrun. And I still remember that City game. Dalot and Malacia were dominated. They both played. The back line is pretty much, I think the back line, the back four, and people forget this going to the City game, the back four is basically the same. I think it was Varane, Martinez, Dalot, and Malacia. I don't think Shaw was in it, so there is an argument that Shaw will start. But if that back four is still going to be the starting four, then that, for me, that's a problem. We'll see what happens. They look like they've got better. There's confidence, etc. But there is something about the fullbacks where I feel like at times, especially in this game, it showed that they at times that they struggled at times. So that's the other thing. And then I think lastly, well, one or two things. I'm not sure what's happened to Martial. Still absent. Graveyard shift. We need to see more from him. And the centre back situation, I don't know what's happening with Harry Maguire, because it seems, at least from what I can see, that Luke Shaw is basically ahead of Lindelof and Maguire. So for as far as Ten Hag's concerned, it's Varane, Lisandro, Luke Shaw, and then either Maguire or Lindelof. Because I for the life of me, I don't understand I don't understand how you can basically, Maguire can essentially be the fourth choice centre back at Manchester United and still want to be at Manchester United. I don't think he does. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So, but overall, I said that's some of the negatives, because I'm thinking about, because Charlton were going to rotate, the teams are going to rotate. I expect rotation. I expect players, and I expect different players coming in, as well as like Elanga and young players, etc. I expect that. But what I worry about, especially with City and Arsenal, these are for me crucial games with how close top four is. I am a little bit there are a few things that I've just noticed. I'm like a little bit that concern me, that I just don't think that, yes, everyone's happy with 7 wins in a row, but we've been here before with Manchester United, and Arsenal at the Emirates. For me, Arsenal at the Emirates and City at home are going to be the true test to see whether this team has actually made a turnaround this season, in my personal opinion. So I think the team just got a little complacent because of a good run, and that's a good wake-up call for City and Arsenal. Yeah, so exactly. So that's, you almost summarize it that complacency is a fitting. There are still a few things, where, when you're looking at who to pick, I'm still not convinced that against better teams, especially teams that have better midfields, that you play Eriksen with Casemiro and Bruno. I'm still not convinced by that at all. I think that against City, that Casemiro is great. It is awesome, but I'm just not sure whether that's going to work. I'm not sure. And then obviously fullbacks I've explained. Sammy, in the League Cup, Lindelof, Maguire actually play. The Butcher needs minutes to get ready. Yeah, no. So there's no doubt. There's no doubt that that they're not going to play. I think, and I guess it's Everton. It's a strong team, so. But I guess I think I was on the assumption that maybe that they would. I think it's more the fact that it's still an indictment that Shaw is playing. This is the key thing, Sammy, and this is because that it's the indictment is that Lindelof playing doesn't really surprise me. The indictment is the fact that you're playing Luke Shaw over Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw is a left back, so you'd rather start Luke Shaw as a centre back ahead of Harry Maguire, who is a centre back. That's where I think if you're Harry Maguire thinking, oh, okay, what is my position, where I am at this club, blah, 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 and so on. But yeah, I suspect that against Charlton, for example, Lisandro Martinez will play. Maybe it'll be a Lisandro and Maguire, for example, against Charlton, or Lisandro, Lindelof, or what have you, get Elanga in, etc. But he does need time for it. But if I'm perfectly honest, and I know this sounds bad, I don't know. And you maybe see this in my preview where I'm just not sure whether you still go ahead and play Lisandro in that game. There is a reason why a lot of our tour players and were able to be effective against City, and I'm still a little bit concerned that Lisandro Martinez he's positional sense is good as a tackler, but there were a few times in that City game where the guy was bullied, and against Haaland and against that front three, there's a few concerns. If it's City, I believe it should be a more solid mid with more energy by keeping the best back four and changing their places. Yes, so exactly, 100% exactly. 100% exactly what I mean. We can't. One of the reasons why I felt we lost that City game was, well, the two reasons of the team was the midfield and our fullbacks. Fullbacks got dominated, and our midfield just couldn't cope, and our sentiments got exposed. We need a bit more energy and physicality in the midfield, and whether that's you play Casemiro with McTominay and Fred. you've got to bring in McTominay or Fred, in my opinion, into that midfield. Probably McTominay, maybe, but because whatever you say about McTominay, what I like McTominay actually is a ball carrier and carry the ball going forward. But you can't play Eriksen in that midfield against City. That's not wise, especially with Bruno, who tends to like to, unless you're going to drop Bruno and play Eriksen further forward, you can't play Eriksen in that midfield. I just don't think that will work. And like I said, with the fullbacks, Luke Shaw is fine on the left, got no issues there. I am tempted to bring in Wan-Bissaka against City, if I'm honest. I am very, very tempted. I know Dallow's been great, but I'm tempted. I'm tempted because I'm honest, I'd rather a defensive counter-attack against City than try and go toe-to-toe with their fullbacks. Because Dallow was dominated in the last game, painfully so against City, you know? I play and Garnacho against City. Yeah, exactly. That's certainly a fair point, and I think that there's an argument to be had as to should Garnacho be starting games of City and should Antony drop to the bench, because I just have not seen enough from Antony to warrant a regular starting position anyway. For me, Garnacho's done more enough to start. The question is, he's so one-footed on that right-hand side that you might as well put Rashford over there. If you're going to put Bruno there, put Bruno on the right, put Eriksen in front. What I would do is actually, because he wants to do this, put Bruno on the right, and then if you want to bring him in later, that's fine. And then you play Eriksen up top with McTominay and Casemiro and Fred for that matter. Maybe see how you go that way. I'll see you, Sebastian AD. I'm going to bring you guys in 2 minutes. I agree, Amosek should come in also. I think Fred for Eriksen because Bruno. Exactly. It's essentially almost close to the Ollie team. I'll keep a stat. You pretty much have the Ollie team, except you don't have McFred. You have Casemiro and either one of Fred and McTominay. You know, but that back six of Ollie, like for me, is fine. You know, bring in Wambus. I would put in AWB for Dallow. Because we don't want to, and the same thing against Arsenal. Like, I don't feel yet that we have the quality to be able to compete with Manchester City and even Arsenal at the Emirates. So a counter-attack, give them the possession, let's counter-attack, but do it in an effective way, being able to hold on to the ball. It's fine. Let's do it. Let's do it that way. So it says, I would take Fred because he's more mobile and can keep up with the runners. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'd agree with that. But like I said, we'll see what happens. Anyway, let me bring on Samasi and ADs, just give their thoughts on the game. Right. Okay. Samasi, AD, you there?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. So Samasi, I'll let you go first. So what were your thoughts on this game so far? On this game overall?
Good game. I don't know what De Gea was doing with that goal. I don't know what he was thinking. De Gea, I don't know with him. He does sometimes like something so idiotic, I think, and just sell him already. And then he does something fantastic, like the one chance where he handled the ball with his feet. I said, how can he do that and then do something like idiotic?
Yeah.
And for Rashford is in form. He looks unstoppable. Rashford looks unstoppable. I thought Eric Ten Hag's strategy was actually good, and he rotated a lot. What's good for United. And I think Antony has to learn to at least work with his right foot. Okay, I know it's going to be hard for him, but he has to work on that. Because how can Garnacho be more effective than you? I know maybe Antony is more talented, but when it comes to effectiveness, Garnacho is just more effective.
Yes.
Casemiro was great again, like always. Eriksen was good. The midfield was good. Dallow, I think, needs to fight his feet. he hasn't played a lot. And how is Luke Shaw a better centre back than Maguire?
Yeah,
Maguire needs to go.
I
Please
don't know.
explain me. Maguire, it's over. His career by Man United, it's over. He has to leave this summer.
Yeah, if you're getting, as I was saying in the thing, if you're getting, it's not the issue of rest and rotation. The issue is that if a left back, if the team's left back is getting over you in the centre. But I know Eric Ten Hag wants to get maybe Malacia in the team to get him to develop a bit more, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, if a left back is getting picked over you in the centre back position to Shaw, then that's a problem, you know. I suspect it's also because I think Luke Shaw is left-footed as well, so I suspect that might be part of it as well. You know, left back. You know, if it's I don't know. Is Malacia left? I'm not sure. So that might be it, because whereas Harry Maguire is not. But I don't know. But let me just quickly. So shout out to SMB in the chat. Thank you very much. Fadir Ryan says Antony is back. Where's Hater now? I think I'd relax on Antony being back. Yes, he scored a goal, but I still think his overall
But it
performance.
was not. It was an easy goal. So
you know, it was like I said, goal is a goal. It's good. It's good on his name, but you know, the overall 90 performance, it's like when you compare the fact of the wingers, because obviously Martial's the number 9, Rashford was the winger and on the left, and Antony on the right. Rashford was far more effective on the left than Antony was on the right. Now, in answer to your question, SSMP, I've not seen Fabrizio tweet it, therefore it doesn't exist. So all the people that were tweeting about, if there are any people talking about Abu Bakr to United, links or stuff like that, they're the same people who said that Enzo
who's
Fernandez...
that again?
He's the Cameroonian striker. He plays for Al Nassr, I think, the same team that Ronaldo
Oh
plays for.
no! Oh
But it's
no!
not. So I will.
Why just Mönchengladbach striker is good and he's cheap. I don't know why United don't go for him.
You know why, Samasi. You know why.
Why I can't United, let's face it, make more commercial money than Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich has more money to spend than United. Bayern Munich can spend to 300 euros this summer. They're not gonna do it, but they could.
They could. Because
United? I don't understand it.
You run like a proper club. If Antony could run outside his defender at least 2 or 3 times a half, then when he cuts inside, he'll be more effective. Again, that is true. Does he do it? Questionable. To be fair to Shaw, I don't think he's a bad player. Like, he has limits, but I think maybe not great, but above average. I don't think I ever said that Shaw was bad at all. I think I don't know if that come across. I think Shaw's actually having a very, very good season. I think when I mentioned the whole Shaw thing, was more of the fact that Shaw is getting in at centre back over Maguire says more about Maguire than it does about Luke Shaw, to be honest. Because, you know, essentially, you now have 5 centre backs essentially, and Luke Shaw is now a left back, and actually is overall is a better left back than Malacia right now in terms of his contributions. AD thoughts on the game and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to add. It was a pretty convincing win for United. And I just think Marcus Rashford, man, what a game he had. He was fantastic on the day. And I think is he going to actually be consistent? Because I remember last season he also had a good run in form. I think it was October. And then we all know how it ended. So, you know, hopefully he can stay consistent. So, congratulations, RDS, and you guys in the 4th round of the FA Cup.
Indeed. It's but I mean, just long as I'm seeing some Barca fans saying United the favourites going into the Barcelona game. I'm seeing some Barcelona say that, like, just so Barca fans know, we're not the favourites. We're not at all. So, like, Barcelona are the bigger club and stuff like that, who have, you know, likes of Dembele, Busquets, Gavi, Pedro, etc. You know, so like we're definitely not the favourites. Says that. Shout out to King Stash for the donation, man. Really appreciate it, bro. Long time no see, bro. Long time no see. Maybe it's not been streaming as much, but thank you so much for the donation, man. I appreciate it. I think Rashford deserves way more praise than he's getting. He's hitting a new level and carrying out attack while Martial and Antony are finding their feet. No, exactly. And you know, even in the World Cup, I think when Rashford came on, Rashford when he came on, when he was playing, I think had a good World Cup. And you know, his form has been good. I think the key is that is Rashford. I think we need to. I just need to see that element of Rashford against the big teams now, and in the critical situations. That's what I need to see now. So the biggest test, because anyone can put these teams of thunder that are struggling relegation. Because let's keep it like Everton, Wolves, Bournemouth, and Nottingham Forest are all teams that are in the bottom 5 and are struggling for relegation. Now I need to see, can Rashford do it against Manchester City? Can he turn up against Arsenal? We need him. Can he continue that form where we're like, whoa, okay? But it's obvious that there's been a turnaround, that Ten Hag believes in him, but we just need to see that consistency from him from now to the end of the season, when we're now getting into deeper competitions, where I now need to see this team. Because for me, I'm not, as much as I like seeing how United are doing, I'm not going to fully invest and believe in this team until I see what they do consistently against big teams, and more importantly, getting something to show it, like a trophy. So if we go, even if it's the Carabao Cup, even if we win the Carabao Cup, I'll be like, progress. We've got something to hang our head on. You know, this is something tangible to say we won this. You know, let's build on this, whatever it's a Carabao Cup or FA or whatever. But if at the end of the day it's another, you know, semi-final loss, another final loss, another something that we need something tangible to see, and then I think we can begin to believe and sort of go forward, you know. But ultimately, yeah, guys, just obviously going back to Smassinadi, do you think that well, okay, before we even talk more about United, what do you think is going to happen to Frank Lampard? What do you think? Well, two questions actually. What do you think is going to happen to Lampard, and what do you think is actually Everton's problem?
Everton's problem, I think, is not really their chance creation, because they can't score. Let's face it, that good chances, but I see it in a lot of games. They have good chances, but they're not really scoring. And the defense is also not really good. But Fat Frank needs to be fired. Okay, Everton is a club that should be in the top 10 at least. Being again in the relegation zone is not good for them. So he needs to be. Let's face it. You know what that is? White privilege. White privilege is that. Let's face it.
No, that's fair enough. AD, what do you think about it?
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. Obviously, I don't think. I think for Everton, it's weird because they have such a good team on paper. They don't have that bad team, but
No,
you know, yeah, and obviously Everton is just a complete mess at the moment. Like, you know, I don't think their FA is really that good. I think they're also at fault here for this calamity as well. The players, like how they allow Richarlison to go. Like he pretty much saved. He's the reason why they got the Premier League this season.
yeah.
So like, how do they now replace him? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so what do you think they could do or should do anyway?
Yeah, I mean, like, see, the thing is, like, you could sack Lampard to get a different coach, but I feel like the same issues will still happen. Like, I still don't know.
Well, they've been doing that. They've been doing that, and it's not been working, has it? But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so like, I just think that yeah, maybe they need to go to the championship to learn the lesson. That's probably the best thing they need to do, so they can actually learn how to do this properly.
Everton is a big football club, you know. So for you know, the starters, I've just put a poll in for who you guys think man of the match will be in the chat. Let me know. Everton is a big football club, and of course, I think they've got the only stat in league where I think they're the only Premier League team since the Premier League's inception to have never been relegated. You know, so even United have been relegated at some point. You know, so every team that's performing or has, you know, so the fact that they haven't is a testament to them all this time. But going forward, and especially with because the Charlton game, I think, is inconsequential in that respect. I expect, demand that United beat Charlton. What would you guys think are the things that you think that Ten Hag should change? Because we talked about it a little, and there's obviously people in the chat that are talking about it. What do you think that Ten Hag should think about changing going forward against City, thinking about City at the weekend?
Against City, he needs to play counter-attack. You're not going to win when you play their game. You need to play just like Liverpool, counter-attack. And I think Marcus Rashford will score when he's in form. So that's all Ten Hag needs to do, because you cannot beat City on their own game.
And AD, what do you think?
Yeah, I just think United needs to. I think because City this season, I think are beatable this season. I don't think the City team is as good as other seasons. So
No.
Yeah, I just think that I just think United have to be solid defensively. I think that's because that's what was the last issue last time, pretty much.
Fair enough. Let me quickly look some comments again. I think I read that. Sorry. So it says Rashford scored against Liverpool last season. I just believe his finest. That is true. That's true. I'm not saying that. I think it's more. How can I say? It's not that I know that Rashford can't score even against Big City. He can score against City. I think it's the situation. I think. So against City, obviously, the fact that we need to win and really showing whether this team has actually progressed since then or not. And obviously against Arsenal, it's at the Emirates, so that's obviously going to be a huge game where I think it's a different mentality when you're playing against two teams who are fighting for the title and literally fighting for the title. So Manchester United could be a difference maker in this title race if they win or lose or draw, whatever, to Manchester City. So you're going to be facing two teams that know they have to win, and it's crucial to them, because if City don't win next week and or we beat City and Arsenal beat Spurs, then the gap is 8 points again. So, and likewise, if they do win and we beat Arsenal, then that sort of brings that if they do and we beat Arsenal, then there will be 2 points.
United can decide the title.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I hope you win against Man United, Man City.
We'll see. We'll see. Don't get me wrong. Arsenal still have to play City twice, so I think that will be the definitive thing anyway, because they still got that's still 6 points, and if City win both of those games against Arsenal, I think it's game over. But yeah, Rashford definitely deserves a huge amount of credit. So and I just fingers crossed. You just hope that you just continue. Kinstash says, bro, it's time zones. Normally I'm still sleeping when the stream starts. I finally got a chance to join while live. That was a great game, not gonna lie. Gray and on was scared. Yes, exactly. Gray has been good. Especially Gray is a pro. Gray, Demarai Gray, I remember, scored that fantastic goal against City to actually give them the draw, which was pretty sweet actually, So but Onana and Gray were certainly problems. And I think if they play like that against other teams, I think that Everton shouldn't have any problems. I think the biggest issue, Stash, is that they just don't. And I think there's a big difference when you are counter-attacking against a team and given space, as you are with any of the top 6 teams, and then defend deep, versus when you now are seen as the in quote favorites and you're now tasked with these mid-table to lower bottom teams to break them down. That is the difference, if that makes any sense, So I guess next thing, or finally, by the way, if you have any question, guys, obviously post in chat. We'll address any question for myself or the panel. Let us know. But what do you guys think? How do you think that Ten Hag should change? I don't think I asked this. Did I ask this? How do you think, that Ten Hag should change things with the Man City game in mind? From what you saw today, how should he change things? AD, what do you think? Or should he change? That's another thing. Yeah.
Because that is a good point. You want your players to be rested for that Man City game, because that's going to be crucial. Is there any players that are going to be suspended for the Manchester derby?
No, I think everyone is available.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we could see maybe some more youngsters play because, like, Everton's a better team than Charlton, so I think we're going to see more more like rotation be implemented, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of the senior players play that much. Maybe Antony might play just because he needs confidence because he's not really been that spectacular this season. I could see Rashford getting rested. I think Rashford needs a rest, to be honest, especially for that Manchester derby. Maybe David De Gea won't be there in goal. I heard you guys got a new player. I forgot the name. It's like a 6-month deal. I think.
Jack Butland's, yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on him?
He's a good backup. I wouldn't say he's like world class and like that, but like he's just like him and Heaton. They're good. Like at one point, Tom Heaton was going levels, but then injuries and issues and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say that yeah, they're both Heaton are sufficient backups basically. For what they need to do, they're sufficient, fine. So I don't think they'll displace David De Gea or anything like that. So, but they're good enough backups, really.
Yeah.
But Samasi, what do you think?
Oh sorry, my internet is a brick.
Oh, no problem. You want me to repeat the question?
I think it mostly a total new team. I think maybe play Antony and then play Garnacho for Man City. That was I was thinking, and then like Iqbal and other young players, let them play, and then maybe in the last half hour, 20 minutes, put Rashford and Casemiro in to farm them up for Man City. That's it.
No, I think that's fair. King Stash also says, I'm surprised the improvement McFred Smith's passed away. Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, everyone that I've seen looks like they've like improved, which is good. I think that like so when I'm looking at this team, I'm thinking, right, the only two players that that I'd be concerned about would be the defenders, specifically Maguire and Lindelof, but more so Maguire because it just the impression I get is that this guy is not going to be in Ten Hag's plans and probably needs if he's gonna he can fight for his place maybe, but it looks like he's probably not going to be a main starter anytime soon. And that's obviously a problem. But everyone else, I can see Fred, I can see, the impact of Fred and McTominay and how they'll get involved, etc. That's definitely, saying Fred's passes were so good. I see why PSG are interested in him. So Welker saying, I was skeptical when Ten Hag removed Castman Eriksson. I thought Bruno should have gone off as well. Bruno, that's probably the only player that I'm kind of like under Ten Hag that I've still yet to see a significant improvement. It's not that he's been awful, and maybe it's where Ten Hag plays him. I don't know, but I just haven't seen an improvement in his game or his mentality, kind of his decision making, what have you. Like it still seems to be the same Bruno. But yes, definitely when Fred and Maximo Thomas go, it's not they don't make mistakes, but I've definitely seen improvements in all of them. And I guess we'll see what happens, So, but to echo what AD and Samasi said, I think that there has to be heavy rotation against Charlton, starting Garnacho, bringing in Iqbal, bringing in obviously a keeper. You start in like Maguire. You play Maguire from the start. You play Lindelof from the start. You probably bring in if you're going to play personally. I would play AWB against City. So I play whichever right back it is that you're going to not start against City, whether that's AWB or Dallo, and then take them from there. Shout out to, is it Dodo on Facebook? Keep up the good work. Very impressive. Thank you very much, buddy. But I definitely make heavy rotations against Charlton and then against Manchester City. Well, my City preview will be coming up next week, close to the time. We shall see. We shall definitely see.
Listen. If Man United can screw Pep and Man City, it would be like a little present for me. Okay, listen, listen. I
I
have an
didn't know you had an
agenda.
agenda again. Do you have an
I have
agenda
an
against Pep?
agenda against Pep Guardiola since he left us without winning a UCL with Bayern. Okay, he had prime Robert and prime Robbie and did nothing. He needs to be punished.
You still got you still got what's it? You still got a UCL from because he left, and then I'm trying to remember. Didn't you win a UCL after he left? Because
He
what's his name?
left. Then
Heineke,
then
Heineke's came
then I
back.
think yeah, we almost won, but I think that was with the Ronaldo offside goals. Yeah.
Okay,
I think no, Ronaldo offside goals was with Ancelotti. No, we had Heinkes, Ancelotti, then Kovac and then Hansi Flick.
Hansi Flick, yeah, who obviously won it, So yeah, no, I get it, I understand. But he's not won it for Manchester City either. So they'll be so but I definitely think you're right that it would definitely screw up the title race if Manchester United actually were to somehow win it. And maybe there's a possibility that if United somehow beat City and Arsenal back to back, that they might be in the conversation. I doubt it. I extremely doubt it. But again, much to the point of the Rashford point that I was saying before, where if you're now going and beating City, Old Trafford, and you're beating us at the Emirates, I can now start to think, okay, this is where the turnaround is genuinely for
What
this team.
what are we gonna say about Ten Hag? Because after the first three games, everyone said he's not the guy. And I said I knew Ten Hag since Bayern. I followed his career. Ten Hag is that dude. Okay,
Mm,
he's that dude. You have to be
mm,
patient. You have to
mm,
back him. You have to give him his players. He's like Pep.
mm,
Just comes from Netherlands. He worked with Pep.
mm,
He knows what he wants. So
mm,
just give him time. That's
mm,
his fierce dear.
mm.
But
It'd be interesting.
everyone,
It'd be very interesting if all the top three teams are essentially like Pep or Pep regens, because obviously Arteta worked under Pep, and then Ten Hag under Pep as well. So all the top three, it's Pep, then Pep version 2, then Pep version 3, and it's like what's going on? You know what I mean?
oh
So
my god.
um, so so yeah, that would be certainly very interesting. I think going forward, So, but yeah, final thoughts. Ghostly, I'm gonna say it's just FA Cup, so it's a match of action. Let's have just a quick look at some of the games. Let's just preview some of the games tomorrow. I just wanted to see what people in the chat and also the panel's thoughts are. So let me just quickly do this, and then we'll have a quick conversation about those games, and then we'll bounce. So I think let's have a look. I think yes, FA Cup. Okay, so we played today. Okay. So I won't bore you with this is the third round. So maybe we'll look at the key games because people I'll just quickly just look at the big teams and just
Wait. There's a club called Huddersfield.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
They used to be they actually used to be in the Premier League in when was it? I'm gonna say early 2010s. They did come up to the Premier League at one point, but they got relegated after I think maybe 1 or 2 seasons. King such as Ten Hag has a 72% win rate. Fair enough. Shout out to that actually. So, oh, by the way, does me going live at this time work? It seems like a lot of people prefer him to go live later, 10 or 2. So let me know. I still don't know, having run this channel for 3 years, what the best time to go live is. It's difficult to know. Better than Klopp, Pep, and Mourinho in their first 26 games in the Premier League club. That is fair enough. Fair enough. I'd like to know what Ollie's win rate was actually, though. What was Ollie's win rate? Because I think Ollie had a fairly decent win rate in his first 25
Yeah,
games.
but it wasn't really his because it was more the players and because Mourinho went away. no, it was not really Oli on his
Yeah.
tactics.
Well, that's what I think, but that's why I want to wait and see. I want to wait and see first whether there is sufficient evidence for the turnaround before I suddenly say that Manchester United are back and we can do this and challenge, etc. Because I know these players where they can play on emotion, they can say, right, we've got this, we have this mentality now, and then they get inconsistent. And it's one thing that someone as a Manchester United over the last 5 years specifically, it's inconsistency. Go on runs where they're unbeaten, you're thinking, yeah, they can do something. And then at the last hurdle or subsequently, they collapse, So that's what. So we need to see consistency in United, and then we also need to see that materialize in a trophy. Because United are too big of a club to have gone through this amount of time without winning a single trophy. I take a Carabao Cup at this point. That's how bad it is, So but they need a trophy at least. Tottenham Hotspur versus Portsmouth at home. I assume you guys think that this is an easy dub for Spurs. They shouldn't bottle it.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Oh, you never know with Spurs. I don't trust that club.
You never
I'm
know.
sorry.
That's my thing with Conte. I suspect that they should win, but like this is the thing. I expect that they'll win, but
Will they win?
Will they win? Yeah, that's the question. Exactly. Well, that's exactly AD. Exactly. I expect them to win. Will they win though? Will they win? That's the question. Yes, AD, we can. Yes. Our previews FA Cup and then yes, we can have a brief talk about Atleti Bars and Roma Milan before we speak. That's a good shout, actually. Let me just scroll. Let's have a look. Yeah, not really. It's seeing any big teams. Scroll. This is all third round stuff.
So there's like 32 teams, right?
No, there's more than that. There's got to be more. Because you have like FA. This is round 3. You have the third round, the fourth round. I think the fourth round is the 32 teams, and then round of 16, and then of course I think yeah. So yeah, there's definitely more. Liverpool Wolves at home, easy dub for Liverpool.
Yeah, they should win. I heard Cody Gakpo is going to debut tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's interesting. So, given the bans I got from Liverpool fans about Gakpo, and that they are that he's going to revolutionize Liverpool and all the rest of it. So, I better see Gakpo dropping hatties. So that's what he should. I know that's the expectation.
I don't get Liverpool's transfer policy because they need a midfielder, and then they buy Gakpo, who's not a midfielder. So,
I do think.
I don't know.
I do think they need a left winger because Jota and Diaz is out for some time, and they're playing Oxlade-Chamberlain left.
Which doesn't really work. So yeah, no, I get that. I understand that. Let's quickly scroll. Any other bigger teams? Oh, yes, this is the one. Of course, this one. Of course, this is the big one here. So I mean, Oxford United expect them to, but this is the big. Obviously, Chelsea played at home. They lost 1-0, but this is in the FA Cup, and this is. And in fact, let's just quickly talk about this just briefly. Let's have a look. Bro, I wanted Gakpo on. Yeah, he would have been good, but the board. That's all I can really say, buddy. That's all I can really say, King Stash. The board screwed us over. Let's just quickly give a few minutes to this. Does anyone think that the fact that they've already played each other this week, does anyone think that actually might contribute to this draw?
Maybe psychologically.
And do you think that any of those team players will make changes? Based on what happened in midweek, do you think both managers are going to go strong? Are they going to make changes? How do you think both managers will approach the game?
I mean, for me, I think I think Pep will field a stronger team than Potter because I think Pep cares more about this than Potter will probably do.
Okay.
So,
but then conversely, I might say was this might be Chelsea's only opportunity of getting a trophy this season. And
true.
If you, as we've seen with other managers, even like Arteta, for example, where if you have something to show, even if you finish 8th or 9th or 10th, if you still, I'd have, but I've got something to show for it, a trophy, that will buy fans and people more time going into next season than if you were completely trophyless and finished in that position. And obviously City is still in the EFL. So, but you could be right. Samasi, I mean, what do you think?
I think Chelsea will concentrate on the FA Cup because that's the only trophy to win. And I think Man City want that three-peat because they haven't had the three-peat again. So I think they want to win the Premier League. So I think Man City will go with the weaker team.
Ooh, actually interesting.
So, but I still think Man City is gonna win.
Yeah. This is at Etihad, right?
Yes, at the Etihad.
Yeah. That's see, if it's at Stamford Bridge or at a neutral venue, I give Chelsea a better chance. But I don't see Chelsea winning at Etihad.
It's interesting because obviously City have also got to think about the United away as well. They play at the Etihad, then they're away to Southampton in midweek in the Carabao, and then obviously they will play United away. And does Pep Guardiola go in quote strong? Or maybe so Pep Guardiola, we know rotates a lot. And what I saw in the game is that you saw, Rico Lewis, come in. You saw Mahrez and Grealish come from the bench and do things. So clearly he can rotate and move. But conversely with Chelsea, you saw Chelsea. I don't know how Chelsea are going to field a team because Chelsea have got so many injuries. So like the Pulisic is going to be available, Sterling is going to be available, Reece James is going to be available. So many injuries.
They have 10 injuries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's. I expect that you're going to see a lot more. You're going to see a weaker Chelsea team by default because you're going to see a lot more, I think, young players and youth. I personally think Aubameyang should even start, but I don't know who you replace him with. We'll see. But I mean, in terms of score prediction, do you guys? I assume you both are giving it to City, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think City's gonna win. I'll say maybe like 1-0. And these games are always low scoring. It's just
okay.
I think.
Go on, Smashing.
3-1 to Man City.
3-1 to Man City. Okay. Right. Okay. So we're just about to round up, but AD was talking about it'd be good to just have a quick conversation about some of the big games coming up. So Atleti versus Barca. So I'll quickly so I like to use Google. And then Roma versus Milan. Okay, so that's obviously on Sunday in La Liga. So AD, as a kind of our La Liga correspondent, what are your thoughts going into this game?
It's a massive game. I'll say this right now. It's a massive game for both teams. Both teams really need this win for varying reasons. Atleti needs this win to, ensure that they get top four this season. And then obviously Barca needs to win to keep their hopes up in the title race. And there's a lot of players. There's a few players suspended for this game, believe it or not. Hermoso suspended for Atletico Madrid. Yeah, Lewandowski suspended. Hermoso suspended. Jordi Alba suspended for this game. Okay. And it's going to be interesting to see how both teams fare because Atletico this season, man, at the Mondo Metropolitano, they're a beast. They're very difficult to beat at their stadium. And I don't know if you guys know this. They actually have beaten Barcelona the last 2 home games in the last few seasons. So they could actually win, I think, 3 home games in a row for first time in a long time, I think. So that would be interesting.
That's cool. Smassy, what's your thoughts?
I think it depends on how Atleti are playing. If they play they played Griezmann in the 10 role where he has space with Joao on the top, I think they could win. But if he goes too defensive, I think Barcelona will win. So it's gonna be some 2-1 or 2-2. I still think Barcelona have a better midfield, and that's why I think Barcelona has the edge, but it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there is one athletic player that you guys should look out for. I'm pretty sure he's gonna play this game. Is Pablo Barrios. That guy's really
Okay.
talented. He's the next
Okay.
Spanish youngster midfielder, so he could turn up in this game.
Okay. Fair enough. It should be interesting. Should be good. So, and obviously, of course, as a United fan, no doubt, I think that Barcelona have got this game, and this is just light work before they face United in Europa. In fact, when did they actually face United in Europa? Let me quickly.
Yeah. Also, one thing to mention is that will Joao Felix turn up in this kind of big game? Because there's a lot of rumors he'll leave Atleti this January month.
Oh yes, well, I mean, this is that is definitely something. I mean, I'm still hearing about Joao Felix to United, and if that's a possibility. But if I'm honest, I
gonna
don't.
say if United can get Joao Felix, they're gonna get top 4.
Yeah, we're not though. But yes, I don't disagree with you, Samasi. The depth is there, but we're not. No, I just there's like it's great, but like it's I know my club at this point, and my club is a banter club when it comes to making signs in
I
January.
can't believe United are broke.
We have American managers that have mortgaged money from the club. That's it really. But and then finally, Roma versus Milan. Now, obviously, so just get this up. Obviously, which is also on Sunday.
This
This
is
is
the game I'm waiting for.
Yes, and obviously with what happened with Napoli Inter, which I watched. It's a midweek, I think.
Yeah, midweek.
And Napoli lost their first game all this season, actually, against Inter Milan. It really does open the title race. Milan, obviously, 5 points behind, so Milan really need to win, beat Roma in this game to push for their title chances. Juve seems to have kind of snuck in here, and
do not let Juve win this league. Do not, okay?
No.
Yeah, Inter's also in this title race too.
Inter, yeah, of course. Inter definitely still in the title race. Yeah, I mean, I think that I would say. I mean, I think it's between the top 4. You can't put Lazio and Roma into it. I think they'll be solid European Europa League teams. So Roma in Europa League, aren't they? But yeah, it's a title race between these top 4. I think Inter in it, Juve in it, Milan in it, Napoli in it. But as Samasi has rightfully said, you don't let Juve win this league.
What's really interesting? Look at the amount of goals that Juve have conceded. They've only conceded 7.
Really?
Yeah.
They won. They've actually have the best
defensively.
They actually have their best form. They have the best form out of the top 4 as well, which is interesting.
I watched their last game. They were so bad and still won. I can't believe, you get that meme. How could he get away with this?
Yeah.
But that's I think of Allegri. He gets away with murder. This dude.
He does. I mean, that's why there's draws, because although they've conceded, you look at the draws. They've got more draw. They've got the same amount of draws this season as Atalanta have. So that will be my only thing, I guess, with Juve. Winning it will be okay. They don't tend to. They have a lot more draws than other teams, and whether that might be the thing that ultimately costs them in the title league race. They might not lose as much, but they might draw quite a bit, So, but ultimately, like, what are people's score predictions in this game? Thoughts on it, and then obviously we'll round up.
Yeah, I mean, Milan should win this game. I'll say this: Rafael Leao, he's looking so good. There's also rumors he might leave. He might join Chelsea this year.
Of course they are. Yes, of course.
I mean, I think he's gonna stay.
What do you think, Samasi? Samasi, you there? Oh, she's gone. Okay. So yeah, I would agree with you. I think that Milan, are probably favourites to win this. They have to win it. And I think with players like Rafael, I think as much as I love Mourinho, I think this might be a bit too much for him to chew. Right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you being live in this post-match reaction. We'll probably, I suspect I'll go live for the post-match against Charlton. I'm not entirely sure yet because, you know, it's Carabao. So, but we will definitely be having a match preview next week for the City game, and I will be trying to bring back the United form as well as the Red Devil Weekly Q&A, where you can ask me anything, and we can bring back the United form to discuss all the happenings over the weekend. But if you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Make sure you check out AD's channel as well. Big up AD. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and X. Smash that like button, notification button. Have a nice day, everyone. And cheers. Peace, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
Wow.